here and join the wall here, which means there was a vaulted ceiling. Why do I want a vaulted ceiling in a bathhouse? So the vapor and the hot air will circulate and it won't drip drop from the ceiling directly on me. I have enough in my feet. But the floor isn't the original floor. This is a covering. The floor was deeper down. You can see there's an excavation that goes down here, and we'll see that in the next room as well. But what you see right here is the furnace. Can you see the wall black? This is where they heated the water, and actually it went in a double floor. You already heard of this, hypocaustus. Yes. And then look at all the tubes in the walls. You can see all the tubes in the walls, and then it actually sprinkles if needed, or at least heats up the air as well from beneath all around. So this is the caldarium. A hot room. Who enjoys a hot room in this hot day? Not me. And that takes me immediately to the tepidarium.
You're saying you're underneath right now?
No. I am too high up. The original floor is slightly lower. I'm too high up right now. And we go into the tepidarium, the tepid room, which is a bit better. Yeah, there's 3 doorways. Only one of them is original.
Which is?
That one. In a moment we'll get to it. There's also room over here on this side. This side. I'll start with, as you are entering and you can pass me, this is an original dome. One of the only domes that still stands from 2,000 years ago. It was reinforced after its discovery. And the window you can see in the ceiling is original. Why? Close this room with the roof, close that room with the roof. It's dark here. So we have the light. The floor again is covered up. The original floor was almost a meter deeper down. What you can see right here behind you is a little bit of frescoes. What are frescoes? Painting on plaster. Now fresco means fresh, or that means it's actually still wet. I can also draw on the plaster when it's dry, and that's called seco. Seco is dry, which means if I paint when it's wet, when it didn't dry yet, that means it's a very quick and very, let's say, sophisticated work, which means it costs more.
Not removable.
When you paint it when it's still wet, the paint is embedded into the plaster and then it becomes one. When you paint it with seco, or in the seco version, there's the plaster and the paint. And that can easily peel off, and that's what happens quite a lot. So here they found frescoes, and to protect them, they covered up the floor. And the bottom is actually protected. So where is the doorway? If you can see right here, you can see the little sides of the archway. And now Abdallah just went through the roof, basically. Because if I'll stand right here, to be able to go through the doorway, I'll need to do something like this. This is where the archway passed. Okay, you can really see it. You can see the same in this entrance. You can see where the archway was, which means Hatim is a little bit too tall right here. And this is much, much deeper. So this is the tepid room, and that is the frigidarium, the cold room. So now let's think of the Roman world. What do I want? I want to enjoy my day. So I heat up a little bit, and then cool down a little bit, and then cool even more, and then I heat up again, and then I cool down, and then I heat up again and cool down. That's how they pass their day, because they don't need to work, of course.
And they gossip. They gossip all day.
A lot of gossip. Or if you're in the more educated, they will invite someone to give them a talk or a lecture, a philosopher or something, which means this room or this structure is actually part of lifestyle in the Roman world. If you don't have this, you're not part of society. How do I deal with it? What happens here? Well, in many bathhouses in the world, you'll have many statues and decorations. Not here. There are paintings, no statues. Why not?
Jewish.
In the Jewish religion, no idols and no statues and no faces and no such are actually allowed. And in the Herodioun construction all over, he really did not put any of these paintings or statues anywhere. If I'll go to a later period, after the discussion of the Second Council period, a bathhouse will have the statues of the nymphs and the gods and goddesses all over. Here, no.
So-
Which means a visitor arriving here will feel like in Rome, but something will be a little bit different than usual. He might even ask. And we'll get to that later, yes.
So it was just frescoes, like
Frescoes,
colors
colors,
instead of images?
paintings, sometimes leaf and vegetation, sometimes just squares and circles and all sorts of flowers. It depends on how much money they'll put into it, of course. So this again is a small bathhouse. It isn't a very large one. Maybe you remember the one in Caesarea that we were basically walking inside. So this is a much, much smaller. Wall is the inner part of the drum. And just here, inside that drum, they found a winery. It isn't open to the public yet. They actually found big pottery jugs in the floor that the grape juice was brought into, and the fermentation happens here. In addition, you can of course bring imported wine from abroad, but this is a reservoir of wine for the visitors arriving, and by the way, they found quite a few of them. So there's enough wine here for many visitors to have a drink in those days visiting. And when it's well done, it's kept well for a while, and you'll have resources for later periods. Even after Herod is dead, they can still rely upon part of the storage in the inner part of the drum. Whenever it will be opened, so there's a door in a moment, not here in the next room, that reaches that spot. Whenever they finish renovating it and open it to the public, I don't know when that will happen.